Hi guys, I'm Kelly T and I'm here with my first gig review vlog. So please share, comment if you guys like this format. I am down to do this more often. When the world gets back to normal, it's a little bit crazy at the moment, but I'm certainly willing to do this more for you guys. Let's talk Outbreak though, a gig that did go ahead last Friday. 5 bands, mixed genres, all brutal, hosted by the Hamilton Station Hotel in Newcastle. What a top little venue this is for a metal community to come together and mingle, enjoy a few drinks and watch some deadly live bands plague the stages, and indeed they did. Organised by Tropical Decay Arts and Entertainment, which I must add did a very good job, you know, even with a free drink card for the first 50 in the door, and the night truly went off without a hitch to the naked eye. Sea of black started to roll in, and on time to gather at the front of the stage and to the sides to see the first act of the night, Ethereal Realm, hailing from Sydney, Australia, and this being their only third performance together as a band, which is pretty exciting for those guys, and they truly did kickstart this festival off very, very well, bringing to our ears a familiar sound of old school metal with elements of power and folk metal thrown in too. This 4-piece band were in their element, making our heads heavily nod, and played a decent and well executed set of 5 lengthy tracks with titles such as Straight Out of Hell and Watch Us Bleed. Lead vocalist TNT truly took it in his stride to get the crowd pumped and just yelled down into the mic with such gusto and really, you know, a big heart. You could just see it. Was Strip the Dog. These guys travelled a few hours down the coast from Port Macquarie to join in the mayhem of Outbreak. And did these guys know how to put on a show? They totally blew me away. These 3 lads managed to create sounds that were full of hard knocks and pure violence, with track titles such as Meet Me At the Front and Cunt Up in the Drink. And yes, I said that. What a ripper track that was. Their sound was just so full on, you know, hardcore punk, sludge and absolute chaos. And it was insane, full of sweat and down-to-earth Aussie bogan humour hurled with some mighty intense vocals by Johnny. He was just insane, as was the heaviness within their metal delivery. These guys completed 15 tracks in 20 minutes, so you can imagine the absolute frenzy that this was. And it was obvious that the crowd felt this too, and I looked around and I could see the disappointment that these guys were done and dusted. They certainly fired up the revelers and left us so thirsty for more. Battery and Assault didn't give up there with the next set from the wild lads of Orange in New South Wales. I'm talking about grind band Terra Mortem. This definitely was a manic pocket rocket set of 12 tracks of teasing grind duration with titles such as Dead Hooker Punching Bag and Cannibalistic Incestation. And the guys definitely matched these vile and aggressive themes with an equally as aggressive stage presence and sound, as James the vocalist showcased his super deadly low as hell gutturals and death metal screams, firing us all up. Like the pits just started to hurl at this point. And with Taylor, the last minute fill-in on the drum kit, and I tell you what, he did a killer job. The boys pulled it together without a hitch to the naked eye, and their set was weighted, addictive, loud as hell, and so fast. Central Coast in New South Wales was the trio of Carnal Viscera, and I was so keen to see the set from this trio after shamelessly stalking their YouTube channel. And whoa, what a heavy sound these three create as they took to the stage in coveralls and gas masks, so fitting for this time in the world, I gotta say. And they just played so hard as they bashed out tracks such as Fetal Abduction, then took to total war with the track Cemetery, and then they absolutely smashed us wide open with the Bloodbath cover Eaten. The pits became more violent, the hair from people's headbanging was just flying everywhere, and the stage presence that these three had was just so full on as Tom completely shattered the speakers with his breeze and his shrieks, hurling full throttle blackened death and touches of thrash our way, while Elena completely shredded the shit out of her guitar. Oh my God, I was just blown away by this woman as she was so small in stature yet so intimidating as she stared down at us from the microphone and just hurling her low gutturals at us as well. The blast pounded us hard and just the whole thing was just so heavy. And when they were done soiling us with 6 tracks of savagery, everyone just looked around at each other like with huge smiles of appreciation, as in, what the fuck just happened? Night went by, guys. It was a sure sign of a smoothly run event and a completely entertaining night. However, there was one more act to go and no one was losing any energy at this point for the final act, making their way down from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and this was their debut show in Newcastle and their debut show outside of their Queensland state, and I'm talking Death Plague. These guys were an extremely good, solid finale to a great night of extreme metal. 5 blokes full of energy and enthusiasm as they took to the stage and absolutely crippled us with a great display of black and death metal with tight grooves, crushing heavy bass, rhythmic sounds, and a strong set list with tracks such as Swarm the Corpse and the fastest cover track in the world, Terra Mortem's Say It, and damn, grabbing James up from Terra Mortem as a guest vocalist to join him on stage to smash the rendition of their callous track Parasitic Homicide. Dam's vocal energy this entire set was just so embracing. He had excellent crowd engagement and inciting the pits as he blew our heads off with his big growls and large vocal folds. Death Plague put on a stellar show, absolutely stellar show. Their sound is unrelenting and very extreme, and I am so confident that I'm not the only one to say that I really do hope that they do come back to Newcastle again, to Sydney, anywhere on the East Coast where we can get to, we'd be happy with, guys. Aside from such a great show these 5 bands gave us, the metal community in Newcastle is absolutely fantastic and really gave all the bands a really warm welcome, showing their appreciation for their sound by a display of hectic pits, lots of yelling and ha-hooing and screaming and clapping, and even the odd windmill and roundhouse kick, and you know who you are, buddy. Sensational social event. You know, it's so important to get to your local events, support these bands. I just want to say though, this really isn't a place for people to come and bring their drama and start violence with the metal community. Again, you probably know who I'm talking about too. Keep that shit at home because that's not what metalheads are about, and don't be a scene kid, basically. You know, there might not be some gigs going down for a little while, so there's things that you can do to support the bands. Buy the merch, buy their albums, follow them, share their music, share the shit out of their music, guys, and give them support. Those tickets that you can no longer buy, throw that towards a really cool band shirt. Go ahead and follow these bands on Facebook. They're also on Instagram. And I just want to thank the Hamilton Station Hotel for hosting such a fantastic night, and for Tom for putting on such an absolutely deadly event.